Hi, and welcome back to Pittman's Pumpkin Patch. It's June 13th, 2012. We got only a couple more days left until school's out here. I am an elementary school teacher, so I'm getting real excited for the summer. I have some good news and some bad news. Let's start with, I guess, the bad news. Bad news is I had to do a lot of replanting of my seeds once again because my plants were not doing too well. Their growth was stunted. It was not taking off and developing like it should. And so I went to a local garden center and I spoke to some people, and I told them that, I taken out all the native soil that was in the ground because it was very gray and void of, any nutrients. And I just put in bags of compost and manure only. And they said, no, you need to also have some soil mixed in there too in order for the roots to really grab hold and develop. Well, that pretty much explained to me why my plants weren't doing so great. So what I did, I went out and bought some bags of Miracle-Gro garden soil and dug the holes back out again, but I took the compost and manure and spread it out between the rows so that when the vines do eventually grow, they'll have some good stuff to put their tap roots into. And so I tried to save as many plants as possible, digging around very carefully because I'd already had a bunch of plants that already sprouted, and I tried to save them, but the root shock and everything was very devastating, and most of them just shriveled up and died and weren't going to grow. So I just went ahead and just I tried anyways. I replanted them back in the ground, but I put some new seeds around just in case they didn't take, which, like I said, is what happened. 1 or 2 plants survived. So all the stuff that you see, most of it anyways, is all new growth. So that was the bad news. Now on to the good news. So let's start off over here on this side, outside of the hoop house, which is, these are Cinderella pumpkins over here. These two obviously survived and are more of the well-developed plants that I have. You can see here that we have, well, let's go down here. We have down here still the cotyledon leaves. One right here, and the other one is right there, tucked underneath. And the others, of course, are true leaves, and you can see how the size of these are getting to be. Okay, and so these are the true leaves here. You got 1, 2, and then you have a third one going out here. So this is a very healthy plant. And I have another one here that's doing okay, not as good as this one. So I don't know if I'll keep him or not. Maybe. I don't know if the soil that I have in here is going to be supportive enough for both plants, but we'll see. We'll see. I have over here some more Cinderella, and I don't know. I came out here and found this white powdery, looks like sugar powder almost, in my soil this morning. I don't know what that's all about. I don't have any idea what's going on with that. More Cinderella over here. You can see how they're slowly developing. You have, again, of course, the cotyledon leaves, and now the true leaf is starting to form out here. Same here, true leaf right there. Okay. Over here on this side are my Big Max pumpkins, and again, cotyledon leaves and true leaves starting to pop out. And same for there. That one, only one is sprouted from there, so I might do some replanting there or just leave it as is and see what happens. And there's more Big Macs right there. So they're just getting started. You can see I have my drip irrigation system going through here for my watering. And I'm doing drip irrigation system this year because I want to cut down on powdery mildew disease, which is caused by, overhead spraying, water cans or sprinkler systems, or just getting too much water on the leaves themselves. And so I just want to cut down on those diseases and everything. And one way of doing that is a drip irrigation system. And you can see I'm running a spaghetti tubing off of the emitter right there, and it just drips it right down the center of the right into the center of the hole. So that's going pretty good. You can see I have finished my hoop house. Everything is all buried and secure. I have Velcro going down the center here, connecting these two halves of the cloth together, and that's all buried underground. It's all trenched in. And this was the other half I finished just a couple days ago. So you can see how it's all just buried underneath. And I made my own little clamps right here. Okay, I just took some regular 3/4 inch PVC pipe, because that's what this frame is, 3/4 inch pipe. And I just took a piece, snipped it, and turned it into a C-shaped clamp, and fit it right over top of the pipes to help hold down the cloth during any kind of windy conditions. Okay, so let's go inside the hoop house and take a look. I've had to do a lot of revamping in here from the first videos. So some of those videos that are up there, like number 1 or 2 or maybe even 3, are outdated. So here we have the hoop house here on this side. This is my main entrance, and I bought some spring clamps last night. And what I'm going to do when it comes time to closing this back up, I'm just going to take this half and the other half and just kind of roll it, put it together and roll it up, and then just clamp it. See, it's going to bunch it together and then clamp it together, and that's going to keep out the bugs and keep this nice secure, but also allow me to gain entrance in here. All right, so let's step inside. It's kind of a windy day, so the material is blowing around quite a bit. All right. So, like I said, a lot of things I had to redo in here. So let's get started on things. I got to do a lot of weeding to get some of this grass out of here. It's growing back in. And that's going to take out your nutrients, so I got to get on that. That's my next big thing. All right. We have, I had to do some replanting. So on this side of the hoop house now, let me get back up. On those hills right over there, I've had to, I put in charisma seeds, pumpkin seeds. No Mr. Wrinkles anymore. Those are all gone. I didn't have any more left in the seed pack, and I didn't really have time to order any more. So there's not going to be any Mr. Wrinkles variety in here. So I'm a little disappointed with that. But I'll try again next year, because I think they're a cool looking pumpkin. Okay, so those are all charismas right there. And this is a charisma also down here, those two. So you see the cotyledon leaves and the true leaves are starting to form on there. And I have, now these are Howden pumpkins in here and in here. And again, eventually I'm going to have to make a choice and decisions on which ones are going to stay and which ones are not, because it's too crowded. But I put in enough seeds because wasn't sure who was going to germinate and which ones weren't. So put about 3 or 4 seeds or so per mound. Okay, I have more Howdens right here. All of these are Howdens right in through here. Okay, now 2 of my Howdens survived the transplant. And you can see, obviously this is one of them right here because it's more developed than the others. We have this leaf, what used to be a true leaf, and it was a bigger one, but that part of the leaf didn't survive the transplant, so I had to break off the bad parts. Okay, but we have, and the cotyledon leaves have already, wow, I didn't even notice that. The cotyledon leaves have already fallen off of this one. and now all the true leaves are just doing their thing. So we've got 1, 2, 3 true leaves, and the new one forming right here. So this is doing pretty good. Definitely a keeper. This one has potential right here. I may keep that one. This one's probably, I don't know what I'll do with them. It's a tough decision. And this one is my other Halidon plant over here that survived the transplant. Okay, and you can see the true leaves on here. And the cotyledon leaves are going off of this one too. So it's starting to develop. This leaf used to be very pale yellow, but I gave it a couple shots of Miracle-Gro liquid fertilizer, and that's all now back to healthy green, so that's doing good. Alright, now this mound here and this one right there are jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. So I do have a different variety in here. So those are going off, and again these are taken off obviously in the jack-o'-lantern mound on this one. So I'm going to have to make a decision on which ones I'm going to keep and which ones I'm not going to, because it's obviously getting very crowded in there for nutrients. And this is a charisma mound, so they're doing their thing. And this little booger right there is a little stray. When I was digging out the compost and manure out of these holes, and you can see I spread it out in between the mounds and everything, so that when the vines grow out and they can put their tap roots down into some good stuff. Apparently there was a seed in that bucket when I dumped it out and spread it out, and a few days later my wife noticed that, hey, you got a pumpkin right there growing. I said, wow. She said, just leave it and see what happens. So I am. It's kind of like a little mini test experiment, because it's not mixed in with the it's not in the Miracle-Gro garden soil. It's just in some compost and manure. So let's see what happens. And the last set of mounds over here are prize winner pumpkins. These are supposed to go to about 300 pounds or more. We'll see what happens with that. Huge cotyledon leaves. I mean, look at the size of these things. Just massive. Only one is sprouted in this mound over here. Now this is one that actually survived, but you can see the yellowing on the cotyledon leaves. Now it might be on its way to dropping off like it's supposed to, but you can see the true leaves are forming on here. So that's going pretty good. So, well, here we are in the inside of the hoop house here. You can see sun coming through here. So and I guess we'll put there's my wife, Michelle, and there's my baby boy, 10 months old, Luke, who's just taking his first steps. Hey, Luke. What's going on, buddy?
I'm turning back to you.
Hey. So everything's going fine. Some of these won't be ready to full maturity till about October 10th, somewhere around there, which is fine. So that's all that's going on here. Things are looking up finally. Things are taking off. I had nothing planted in that hill over there. Nothing took off, so I might just use that to put some marigolds in, or I still got time if I feel like putting in some of those little small 90-day variety pumpkins. I might do that. I got garden soil left, and there's still plenty of time for those, so who knows. Alright, so from inside the hoop house at Pittman's Pumpkin Patch, I'll see you next time. Bye.